Little Boy. The first nuclear device ever used in combat and the trigger that ushered in the atomic age. Developed by the Manhattan Project under maximum secrecy, this 4,400 kg bomb was dropped by the B-29 Enola Gay over Hiroshima on the 6th of August, 1945. Its design utilized highly enriched uranium 235 inches, a gun-type detonation system, where a uranium projectile was fired at a uranium target to create critical mass. The technology was so experimental that it was never tested before actual use scientists completely trusted their calculations. With only 1.5% efficiency, Little Boy released energy equivalent to 15 kilotons of TNT, obliterating 5 square kilometers of Hiroshima and instantly killing 80,000 people. The temperature at the epicenter reached 300,000 C, 4 times hotter than the sun's surface, vaporizing nearby victims and leaving only their silhouettes burned into concrete. Ironically, despite its devastating historical impact, Little Boy was considered primitive by nuclear standards. The gun-type design was immediately abandoned due to its inefficiency, with only 1.38% of the fissile material effectively contributing to the chain reaction. The nuclear era that Little Boy inaugurated would permanently change the global balance of power and the concept of total war. A single bomb, a single aircraft, a single mission, the ultimate demonstration that humanity now possessed the power to annihilate itself. Fat Man. The bomb that forever changed the course of human history with its detonation over Nagasaki on the 9th of August 1945. Unlike its predecessor, Little Boy, this was an implosion weapon using plutonium-239 as fissile material. With its 10.7-foot length and 5-foot diameter, this spherical 10,300-pound weapon was carried by the B-29 Superfortress boxcar. Its nickname came from its rounded shape, reminiscent of the character Caspar Gutman from The Maltese Falcon. At its core, 14.1 pounds of plutonium were compressed by 64 explosive lenses in perfect synchrony, creating a chain reaction that released energy equivalent to 21,000 tons of TNT. The shockwave devastated everything within a 1-mile radius of the hypocenter, with temperatures exceeding 7,200 degrees Fahrenheit. Developed in the Manhattan Project under J. Robert Oppenheimer's supervision, Fat Man was tested only once during the Trinity test on the 16th of July 1945, before its combat use. When it hit Nagasaki, it instantly killed 40,000 people, with another 35,000 dying later from burns and radiation. Technically more advanced than Little Boy, it established the standard for the implosion design used in virtually all modern nuclear arsenals. Ironically, the bomb was originally intended for Kokura, but weather conditions diverted the mission to the secondary target. Fat Man definitively ended World War II, but inaugurated a new era of nuclear terror that persists to this day. Tsar Bomba. Codename AN-602, the most powerful nuclear weapon ever detonated by man. Developed by the Soviet Union during the Cold War, this 3-stage thermonuclear bomb was tested on the 30th of October 1961 over the Novaya Zemlya archipelago in the Russian Arctic. Measuring 26 meters in length, 2.1 meters in diameter, and weighing 27 tons, the Tsar Bomba generated a yield of 50 megatons, equivalent to 3,333 times the power of the Hiroshima bomb. The original design called for 100 megatons, but was reduced by half to allow the delivery aircraft to escape the explosion. The fireball reached almost 8 kilometers in diameter. The nuclear mushroom cloud rose 64 kilometers into the atmosphere, penetrating the stratosphere. The light flash was visible 1,000 kilometers away. The shockwave circled the Earth 3 times. Windows were shattered 900 kilometers from ground zero. The released energy represents approximately 1/4 of the power of all artillery fired during World War II, concentrated in a single explosive event. Interestingly, despite its unprecedented destructive capacity, the Tsar Bomba was relatively clean for its size, with 97% of the energy coming from fusion, not fission, limiting radioactive fallout. It was never a practical weapon, too large for missiles and unfeasible for tactical use. It was, in fact, a demonstration of Soviet power, a maximum expression of the era of mutually assured destruction, a burning reminder of what it means to stand on the brink of nuclear apocalypse. The B-41 was the most powerful nuclear bomb ever produced by the United States. Developed at the height of the Cold War, between 1960 and 1963, this three-stage thermonuclear weapon had a maximum yield of 25 megatons, equivalent to 25 million tons of TNT, approximately 1,250 times more powerful than the Hiroshima bomb. Its size didn't match its destructive power. At just 3.8 meters long and 1.3 meters in diameter, the B-41 was relatively compact for its capability. Weighing approximately 4,850 kilograms, it could be carried by the B-52 Stratofortress bomber and other strategic Air Force models. What made the B-41 extraordinary was its efficiency. It produced 5.2 kilotons of energy per kilogram of weight, the highest energy-to-weight ratio ever achieved in any American nuclear weapon. At maximum power mode, it would create a fireball 4.8 kilometers in diameter and destroy reinforced structures within a radius of 17 kilometers. Third-degree burns would occur up to 37 kilometers from ground zero. The U.S. Air Force produced approximately 500 units, which remained in service until 1976. The B-41 was never detonated in actual tests, Solo 70. Its power was calculated through computer models and component testing. This thermonuclear monster represented the philosophy of mutual assured destruction. A single bomber carrying multiple B-41s could completely devastate any enemy nation. Today, weapons of such magnitude have been replaced by smaller, more precise warheads. But the B-41 remains a silent testament to humanity's capacity to create instruments of unimaginable destruction. This is the W88, one of the most advanced thermonuclear warheads in the American arsenal. Weighing just 360 kilograms, it delivers a destructive power of up to 475 kilotons, 30 times greater than the Hiroshima bomb. Developed at Sandia Laboratories during the Cold War, it entered service in 1989 and remains operational. The W88 utilizes the Teller-Ulam two-stage fusion-fission design, where an initial fission explosion creates the temperature and pressure necessary to trigger the main fusion reaction. What makes it particularly lethal is its precision. When launched from an Ohio-class submarine via the Trident D5 ballistic missile, it can strike targets 7,000 kilometers away with less than 90 meters of deviation. Each submarine can carry up to 24 missiles, each equipped with multiple independently targetable W88 warheads. The production cost of each unit is estimated at $14 million, with only 400 units manufactured, significantly fewer than originally planned due to the end of the Cold War. The W88 represents the pinnacle of American nuclear miniaturization, with a yield-to-weight ratio superior to any other warhead in the Western arsenal. It is considered the crown jewel of America's nuclear triad, ensuring second strike capability even after a hypothetical enemy first strike. Though never detonated outside laboratory tests, its mere existence permanently altered the global strategic balance. The B-83 is the most powerful thermonuclear bomb in the United States arsenal. Developed in the 1,970 seconds by Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory and produced from 1983, this gravity weapon represents the pinnacle of American destructive engineering. Each B-83 carries a two-stage thermonuclear warhead with variable yield of up to 1.2 megatons, 80 times more powerful than the Hiroshima bomb. Its aerodynamic design allows deployment at various speeds and altitudes, equipped with multiple safety systems and parachute retarders to allow the delivery aircraft to escape the lethal zone. It weighs approximately 1,100 kilograms and measures 3.7 meters in length. The B-83 can be configured for airburst or surface detonation, maximizing different effects depending on the target. It was designed with FUFO capability, full fusing option, allowing detonation parameters to be adjusted until moments before launch. Notably, these bombs were carried on B-1, B-2, and B-52 bombers. The energy released at maximum detonation equals 1.2 million tons of TNT, sufficient to create a fireball nearly 1 kilometer in diameter and cause third-degree burns to people up to 20 kilometers away. Although production has ceased, the B-83 remains in active service as the last megaton bomb in the American arsenal, a silent testimony to the apocalyptic power humanity has learned to control. The Minuteman III is the only land-based intercontinental ballistic missile still in service in the American nuclear arsenal. Developed by Boeing, this three-stage solid-propellant giant entered service in 1970, replacing earlier versions dating back to the Cold War. Standing 18 meters tall and weighing 36 tons, it can be launched from reinforced underground silos scattered across Montana, Wyoming, and North Dakota. The name Minuteman references the American Revolution militiamen, ready to enter combat in a minute, exactly like this missile, capable of being launched just 60 seconds after presidential order. With a range of 13,000 kilometers, it travels at speeds exceeding 24,000 kilometers per hour and can strike virtually any point in the Northern Hemisphere. Each Minuteman III carries a Mark 12 amperes multiple re-entry vehicle with up to 3 W88 thermonuclear warheads, each with a yield of 335 kilotons, about 22 times more powerful than the Hiroshima bomb. The accuracy is terrifying. Its SEP circular error probable is only 200 meters, meaning that after traveling 8,000 kilometers, 50% of the missiles will hit within an area the size of 2 football fields. Currently, the U.S. maintains 400 Minuteman III in silos, constituting 1/3 of America's nuclear triad. This system has undergone 5 life extension programs, and even after 50 years, it remains the backbone of the United States' land-based nuclear deterrence until at least 2030, when the Sentinel program is expected to replace it. The R-36M, NATO codename Satan, is the most powerful intercontinental ballistic missile ever built. Developed by the Soviet Union in the 1,970 seconds, this 211-ton monster represents the pinnacle of Cold War military engineering. Standing 36 meters tall with a 3-meter diameter, the Satan wasn't designed to survive a nuclear attack. It was designed to be the nuclear attack. Capable of carrying 10 independent thermonuclear warheads of 750 kilotons each, a single unit can devastate an area the size of New York State. The system uses hypergolic liquid fuel, stored in hardened underground silos, designed to withstand direct impacts. Its range of 16,000 kilometers allows it to strike any point in the United States from Russian territory. The accuracy is equally impressive, a circular error probable of just 220 meters after a 30-minute flight crossing continents. Interestingly, the Satan was also designed with FOBS capability, fractional orbital bombardment system, new allowing attacks via the southern polar orbit, bypassing early warning systems facing north. Although part of Russia's arsenal is being replaced by the Sarmat, dozens of R-36Ms remain operational. They have never been used in combat, and let us pray they never will be. Each missile carries destructive power equivalent to 500 Hiroshima bombs. In the next episode, Davy Crockett. The smallest nuclear weapon system ever deployed in combat. This tiny destructive marvel was developed during the Cold War to give American infantry troops the ability to launch a tactical nuclear strike without air support or heavy artillery.